Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In a Nutshell. If you're coming back, if you're new here, welcome to In a Nutshell, which is the channel I chose, or the title that I chose for my channel. There's a story behind it. We'll talk about it at some point. This video is the first one that is being made after the strike has ended for SAG-AFTRA. It just ended, and scripted shows and movies actually are my jam. So my main goal for the channel actually is to be talking about movies and shows. So I finally can. We don't cross picket lines, but the picketing is over, so let's get started. So this is going to be the first of a few videos talking about either the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or the Hunger Games series or both. This one is just a trailer breakdown for trailer 2. And the reason that I'm breaking this down is because when I saw this trailer, maybe a few months ago, I don't even remember when it was released, I was like, I can't believe they put that on the movie, let alone the trailer. And we'll talk about which one that is. Which shot that is. A few housekeeping things before though. First off, spoilers for the books. I am going to be talking about what's happening or what I think is happening in each of the shots that are on the trailer. So if you don't want things off of the book, which is basically what's going to be on the movie also, you don't need to watch this. I'm sorry to lose a viewer, but spoilers. And number 2, if you aren't already subscribed, please do. Thank you to the 15 people who are subscribed. I only know like 2 of you. maybe 3 of you. So to the other 12 people who just found me on the internet, thank you. And if you are just finding the video and have not subscribed yet, hi, if you could please. Thank you. All right. So we are going to go through the entire trailer and we'll talk about it. So in like the first 5 seconds, we see a few shots. It's kind of just a tease of things that are in the trailer. We see Viola Davis as Dr. Gall. We see Rachel Zegler, of course, as Lucy Gray Baird. And the first shot is of Coriolanus Snow and Tigress. They're walking into I think the academy, and I don't think that that's a scene that actually happens in the book. I'm glad that they added that scene. For most of the things in the book, Tigress is at home, pretty much. But like this takes her out of that and gives her a chance to like be dressed up out in the world. We love to see it. This trailer is packed. I am like 9 seconds in, right? And it's already got so many things. There is a wide shot of the academy with a little kid running. Well, not a kid. I mean, a kid academy age. I'm assuming that's Corio. He is kind of late to the first, or to the reaping class, whatever. And then there is a shot of like a dome. And then a shot of the floor of that dome. And that actually is the arena. This is the story of the 10th Hunger Games. As a comparison, Katniss Everdeen's games were 74th and 75th, which is the third quarter quell. So this is 65, if my math is 65 years ahead. And the whole story actually shows us how the Hunger Games became what we know them to be. This is the arena that they had. It's literally just like a sporting event arena. There are bleachers, they go under the bleachers, it's covered. It's not like the tropical paradise of the 74th Hunger Games or the woodsy area. Oh, no, that was the 75th. The woodsy area of the 74th. There are descriptions of other arenas in the books. There is a tundra kind of place. There is an actual paradise where everything is poisonous, some of those stuff. By the way, TLDR, in the books, in the first book, in Hunger Games, they actually talk about how the arenas after the games, after that game that it was used for, it becomes like a tourist spot where people from the capital, of course, would go and visit and participate in reenactment of the things that happen in the games. Sick. Not like, that's sick. It's like, that's sick. Sorry, I got distracted. Tangent. So the shot of running into the Capitol, the arena, and then a few shots later, we see a rabid dog. It's a dog with fangs and like saliva and all these things. And if you have read the book, rabies is a thing. The book is split into three different things, into three different parts. The mentor, which is the bit that's leading up to the games, the prize, which basically is the games, and then the peacekeeper, which is post the games. The trailer obviously is a mix of all those shots. We have a shot of Dr. Gall saying, "What are the Hunger Games for?" Um, she becomes basically Snow's mentor, one of the many, many people who influences his life and how he becomes who he is today, or who he was at the time of the 74th Hunger Games. You see a shot of some people running down the meadow. That is the covey. That is Lucy Graybaird's family. Family. I think they actually are all related, but they're musicians and they're called the covey. They're walking down a meadow that I think is the same meadow that is referenced in the original books. We see Lucy Graybaird walking down the aisle at the reaping from after she was raped. Yeah. Uh I'm sure by now everybody who's interested has already seen the little snippet of a scene where she puts the snake down Mayfair's dress. And then a shot of the actual hanging tree. If you're a fan of the original books, and or the movies, you know about the hanging tree, the song that Katniss sings. We actually find out in this book that it is Lucy Gray Baird who wrote the hanging tree. And I don't want to I don't want to spoil how we get there, but you do get a shot of the hanging tree. We see the shot of Coriolanus responding to Dr. Gall's question, saying that the Hunger Games are to punish the district, I think is what he says. Oh, what I missed is a wide shot of the Capitol. It's like a roundabout with a statue in the middle, and you can kind of see outside, not outside, on the side, that the buildings are being rebuilt. Again, this is the 10th Hunger Games, which is 10 years, a mere 10 years since the dark days, since the actual war. And, the Capitol almost lost that war. So, yeah, there's a lot of rebuilding happening. It's only 10 years out. So they are still putting their lives and their infrastructure back together. We see a shot of the tributes in like a van, in like a truck, in a truck. They're in a truck. If you remember, in the original movies, each tribute, upon being reaped after their goodbyes, unless, it's the Quarter Quell, you're not allowed to say goodbye anymore, apparently, in District 12. I digress. So they get put in a car to go to the train station. They get a fancy train with all the, like, food, their own room, all the fancy gadgets, and all the alcohol, and all the desserts, and all the fancy shiny things. As of the 10th Hunger Games, each tribute is put on the same train, and it's a cattle train, I think they called it. And then they get put into a truck. So it's just like I'll put a picture of it. So that's all the tributes. And then they get tipped onto a rock that goes into like a little cage in the zoo. We are told in the books that the fact that they're in the cage in the zoo already is like a leg up off of what they were the past 9 years, where they were just put in the stables the next day directly into the arena to kill each other. But year 10 is where they decide we try to get everybody involved, try to make a show of it. Oh, what I failed to say is the shot where the tributes are looking straight at the camera. It's because they're looking at Snow, because somehow, some way, Snow ends up in the same truck that is transporting the tributes. Now remember, Snow is of the Capitol. Snow is one of the mentors. He is the enemy All the kids in that truck except for him are from the districts, and they have nothing to lose. So they're kind of looking at him like they want to kill him, huh? We see a shot of Casca Highbottom. He's called, like, he's introduced as the man responsible for the Hunger Games. Like, it was his idea. You also find out pretty quickly that he is just not a happy person, and he particularly hates, for a reason that I'm not going to tell you. You know, yeah, spoilers, but don't spoil everything. He particularly hates Coriolanus Snow. And he says, to the mentors, your role is to turn these people into spectacle, not survivors. Because they know that there's only going to be one survivor. And they, at this point, I'm sure they don't even care if there is a survivor, right? It's just to punish the districts, right? But his point is, they need for people to be engaged in the Hunger Games. Nobody's watching it at this point. So he needs the mentors to find a way to turn their tribute into spectacle. Jazz hands. Then we get a shot of a very important character standing with Coriolanus Snow, Sejanus Plinth. Sejanus Plinth is an interesting character because he was born in District 2. And if you remember, or if you know the lore, District 2, or at least Sejanus' dad, stood with the capital during the Dark Days, right? So, Dark Days over, Capital won. The Plinth family is in a really good position to ask for whatever they want. So they asked for Sejanus. So they've already moved into the capital because basically, welcome, you helped us, welcome. But also they had asked for Sejanus to be educated in the academy. He's very rich. His family is very rich. They are living in the capital, but their hearts are very, or at least his heart is still very much district. We meet both his parents in the books. I don't know if we meet them in the movie, but his mom also still has a very, like she understands what they're doing in the capital and what they need to continue to do. Like, she understands what they're doing in the capital, and she understands why they need to keep doing that in the capital. But she still has a very special place in her heart for District 2. Not as much as with Sejanus, though. And Coriolanus resents him because Corio is capital, but lost all his money. Sejanus is district and is now in the capital, super rich. Tigress. I think the casting choice is excellent. And also the way she's acting, her voice, that shot of, imagine if it was your name that came out of the reaping or whatever. I love her. Hunter Schafer, that's her name. It took me a really long time to remember what it was. I realized I don't even know Coriolanus's actor's name. I'm the worst. We'll do another video that talks about, like, character analysis for each of them. It's fine. This is not the time for it. This is just a trailer. We see a shot of Lucy Gray, who, by the way, I don't think I mentioned it, is the tribute that was selected for District 12, where Katniss and Peeta are from. So she is being led, shoved, directed towards what I think is the arena. And then we see a shot of Coriolanus Snow waiting for that train, the cattle train that I mentioned that transports the tributes into the capital. Okay, a couple of things in that little clip. So Coriolanus is waiting for Lucy Gray at the train station with a rose from his grandmam. Their grandmother, so Tigress and Coriolanus are cousins. Their grandmother, they call her grandmam, because she, grandmother is not grand enough. It has to be grandmam. And she has like a rose garden up on the roof, and that's where the whole garden, that's the whole rose reference. That's where it comes from with President Snow. Anyway, so he brings her a rose, and she asks, what are you doing? I'm your mentor and all these things. She asks him, what do you do for me? First of all, I've said first of all so many times in this video already, but I think it begs to be acknowledged that while there are aspects of a love story in this movie and in this book, this is not a romance movie. It is much more than that. Point is, if you are expecting a love story for the ages for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, don't watch it. That's not what it is. Also, she Lucy Gray Baird calls Coriolanus Snow a rebel because he is the only mentor who is at the train station meeting their tribute. And you see a shot of Snow looking kind of awkward, and that's because rebels are, or the word rebel actually is the rebels, the people who rebelled against the capital. So he's having kind of like that feel. He's feeling some type of way about it. A few shots. There's a shot of Koryo being led into an enclosed space. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. He is going into the arena. I'm not gonna tell you why. Um, there is also a shot of him wiping her eyes, her tears off her face, saying, "I'm gonna get you out of here." So here's the some of the romance aspects that I was talking about that exists in the movie. Because yeah, they do start feeling feelings for each other. We see shots of Snow as a peacekeeper. He does become a peacekeeper. I feel like we knew this from the first series, but I'm not sure. But he does become a peacekeeper. Not gonna tell you why. And a shot of a girl being led away by a couple of peacekeepers, yelling "murderer." And then a shot of Sejanus Plinth, also at this point a peacekeeper, wanting to walk up to the girl, I'm assuming to the girl, and Coriolanus stops him. And these series of shots are obviously, and when I say obviously, you can see it on the thing, on the screen, that they're not at the capital. They are in District 12. Okay, now we talk about the piece that I did not think would make it into the movie, let alone the trailer. The reason I didn't think this was going to be in the movie is because it feels like such a small thing. It's just a recollection that Snow has. Uh, and to put it on film, to put it on screen, would have had to be so many things. I'm glad that they put it on there though, because it is the best example, I think, of what people do to survive. But it is the shot of the younger, like a young, much younger Snow and a much younger Tigress looking behind, uh, looking around the statue, and there's a dude hacking away at something. He is hacking away at a person because his family needs to survive. Now I don't want to I don't want my video taken down. So I'm not going to actually mention what it is that they ended up doing with that leg, but again, it's the best that they could have put off of the books to show that the people of the capital had to resort to very, I was going to say very questionable, but actually the word is terrible, to terrible, terrible things to survive the siege of the capital during the dark days. We see some shots in the arena. Um, in the books, she is advised, just like Katniss was, not to fight at the cornucopia. There wasn't really a cornucopia, just a stash of stuff on the floor. But we do see some fight scenes that seem to be from the very beginning of the actual games, which is good. It's nice to have like a fight in the beginning. We also see drones, and the drones are very different from what they were in the 74th, 75th Hunger Games. Again, they are just getting used to this. Actually, specifically the drones, this is the first time that drones are used within the Hunger Games. Dr. Gall says, "I want my enemies to see a rainbow of destruction." And then we see a shot of the snakes. So remember, this is called the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. You already know songbirds, mockingjays, right? Then the snakes. The snakes referenced here, this shown here rather, are some of the mutations. The mutations, the earlier mutations. Basically, Dr. Gall is turning things into mutations. The snakes are not just snakes. They are mutated snakes. They are very special. Yes, they are rainbow colored, but that's not what makes them special. They are basically, if they know your scent, they're not going to kill you. If they don't know you, they're going to kill you really, really fast and really, really terribly. And there's so many of them. We get a shot of peacekeepers barging into a house. I'm not actually sure what this is from. I know that the peacekeepers arrest somebody for a reason I'm not going to tell you. So that might be it. And we see Reaper dragging the flag of the Capitol, and Sejanus Plinth throwing a chair at the screen and having a fit, saying, "They're monsters, all of you." Basically, the Capitol. So he is assigned a tribute, and it is a tribute that he has a personal connection with, and that tribute is just treated horribly, 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 horribly. Like even worse than you would think in the Hunger Games, and that's just Sejanus losing it. We also see shots of Lucy Gray running in like in the tunnels under the bleachers, I'm gonna assume, in the arena.
That poor little songbird. Where is she?
And we see things falling on Lucy Gray and Coriolanus Snow. Before the Hunger Games themselves start, there's like a tour of the arena and it gets bombed. The book doesn't actually talk a lot, like go into who bombed it, why, how it happened, why it happened. I mean, we know why it happened. But in this shot, it shows that Corio gets hit by all the things that are falling and Lucy Gray is farther out. In the book, it becomes one of those things where she could have run and escaped, but she chose to save him and help him. You see fight scenes, and the huge barrel of snakes dropped into the arena. Lots of things have been said about Rachel Zegler. I have said some things about Rachel Zegler. But whatever else, girl can really sing. Like this. Technically, this is a cover because the first song was by Jennifer Lawrence. This cover is amazing. It's really good. I can't wait. Maybe it is already released. I'll look it up. It's really good. And then we hear a voiceover of Adult Snow from the original series saying, "It is the things that we love that have a way of destroying us." Or no, it's the things that we love most that have a way of destroying us, right? And you see a shot of Snow looking up, and then you see a shot of Lucy Gray smiling at him and walking, or just about to walk out the door. Trying not to spoil. I did say spoilers, so maybe it's fine. But basically, this is a huge like turning point in the movie because remember, this is not a love story. These kids are just about to run away, but something happens, and it ends with not knowing what happened to Lucy Gray and Coriolanus Snow as the president that he is in the 74th and 5th Hunger Games. Yeah. So that is the trailer to Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, folks. It actually does say releasing November, or it starts November 17th. It starts in the Philippines on Wednesday, November 15th. Yeah. I'm excited. Oh, you want to know how excited I am? I know you probably can't tell, but I'm wearing a green dress today. Oh, maybe this one. I'm wearing a green dress today in honor of Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, and my earrings are snakes. That's how excited I am, folks. The other thing I was gonna say is, no, I think that's it. This is a short video, thank God. Hang around for the next little while. I think I'm going to be covering a lot more of things about the Hunger Games because, you know, the Hangover. I'm going to go see it on Wednesday or maybe Saturday. And then we'll talk about it. Also, if there's anything now that SAG After Strike is over, if there's any show or movie that you'd like for me to cover, let me know. Post a comment, or I always put my socials on each of the descriptions on my videos so you guys can just pop on there. By the way, I know that I have not finished the series on Love is Blind season 5, but that's because it has become a chore. I'll finish it, but I might finish it like a year later just so I can close that book, you know. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching my video. I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, may the odds be ever in your favor.